You guys are not going to believe this. The New York Times has just unveiled a rather unthinkable plot that apparently the Biden administration was discussing doing. And this plot would literally lead us all into nuclear World War III. Things are getting really rocky, to be honest with you. But take a look at what I'm talking about. And this is directly from the horse's mouth from the New York Times. And I went to their archived file in case they did try to erase it. But here it is. Trump vows to end the war, could leave Ukraine with few options. Now, obviously, this is just the headline. It would be an article that you might miss, right? But if you go on and read some of the details, right? Here's some of the details of what's been happening. It says some officials in the Biden administration have suggested taking a more assertive measure in the remaining 2 months they have to help Ukraine, such as allowing the country to use U.S. supplied long-range missiles to strike inside Russia for the first time, which we all know that he did. And it says in recent days, Biden did authorize the use of those missiles, known as ATACMS, Army Tactical Missile Systems, and I discuss it here on my channel, by the way. But Ukraine used them on Tuesday to strike an ammunition depot in southwestern Russia, according to Ukrainian officials. On Wednesday, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin III said the Biden administration had approved supplying Ukraine with American anti-personnel mines to bolster defense against Russia attacks as front lines in Ukraine's east buckled. But it goes on to state a little bit more of a shift that this administration has made. The Pentagon said it was lifting a ban on U.S. military contractors deploying to Ukraine to help the country's military maintain and repair U.S. provided weapon systems, particularly F-16 fighter jets and Patriot air defenses. Now, here is the kicker on this entire thing. And this is kind of what would also cause World War III. We already know that World War III could very well spark right now because we are allowing our military weapons to be used inside of Ukraine, something that Biden said he would never do. He's now doing. Ukraine has now used those weapons, along with other countries' weapons, by the way. And now we hear this in this New York Times article. So take a look at this bombshell that's hidden in this report. And it says, several officials even suggested that Mr. Biden could return nuclear weapons to Ukraine that were taken from it after the fall of the Soviet Union. That would be an instant and enormous deterrent. But such a step, they say, would be complicated and have serious implications. You think? I think that's a little bit more than just something you're going to call a serious implication. You're literally talking about giving a country nuclear weapons. Do they have a death wish? I mean, this is insane. I've got a lot more to share with you, but I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, noblegoldinvestments.com. Well, gold just hit another record high. It's been doing that for quite some time. In fact, it's really interesting, and it has gone up 33.26% over the year to date. While election drama is changing a lot of things when it comes to finances, gold has always been steady and stable. That's why gold has always maintained its value. I want to encourage you right now, call Noble Gold Investments at the number on the screen, the 1-877-646-5347, or go to lisahavengold.com and get information on how gold can help you and your family. And you can do that by filling out that information. Click Get It Free. They're going to send you this free gold and silver investment guide. And by the way, they're also giving up to 10 of these 1 ounce Trump silver coins that you see here, or even a 1 ounce a 10 ounce silver American flag bar with any qualifying accounts. If you want more information, click that more button or click the link in the description box below. All right. But with that, by the way, Noble Gold has been a longtime sponsor, so please make sure you really check them out. But with that, there's so much more to the story going on. We literally got a president right now who is acting insane. I mean, completely insane. It's almost as if Joe Biden has a death wish for not only him, but the American people. I mean, he needs to keep his mouth shut, and what he's doing, he needs to stop. He's got 2 months left in office. The guy is irrelevant, and nobody right now is able to really do anything with all this crap that he's trying to start. I mean, they had to leak that information to the New York Times for some reason, right? That's not going to be for no reason at all. I'm sure the New York Times was told by someone to publish that. Are they really trying to piss Putin off and ignite a war in some sick threat, death threat, to pay back the American people for voting for Donald J. Trump? Hell, I don't know. But I can't shake that feeling, that's for sure. Meanwhile, I'm not the only one talking about this craziness. Joe Rogan on his podcast also said this, and I'm going to play this clip. But take a listen to what he says here about Joe Biden and the war.
How are you allowed to do that when you're on the way out? Like, the people don't want you to be there anymore. There should be like some sort of a pause for like significant actions that could potentially start World War III.
Right? And that's exactly what he's doing. Significant actions to start World War III. But he goes on and he says this.
Maybe that would be a good thing that we would like to avoid from a dying former president.
Yep.
The whole thing is nuts.
I mean, look, I don't know shit about politics.
Zelensky says Putin is terrified. Fuck you, man.
Yep.
Fuck you people. You fucking people are about to start World War III.
Wow. And I'm not even disagreeing, and excuse the French in that, I'll beep it out, but they're literally trying to start World War III before they leave. I'm not the only one thinking that. A lot of people are. In fact, I want to show you what a Ukrainian top official has just said. Take a look at this. And this is on Politico, bullshitico, as Bongino likes to say it. I like it. Good, better name for it. But anyway, World War III has officially begun. Ukraine's ex-top general says. It goes on. Ukraine's former military commander-in-chief, Valeria Zaluzhny, said that the direct involvement of Russia's autocratic allies in its war on Ukraine means that World War III has started. And here's the actual quote. I believe that in 2024, we can absolutely believe that the Third World War has begun, he said, who is now Ukraine's envoy to the UK, during a speech at their Pravda's Up 100 Awards ceremony. Because in 2024, Ukraine is no longer facing Russia. Soldiers from North Korea are standing in the front of Ukraine, let's be honest, and already in Ukraine, the Iranians are killing civilians absolutely openly without any shame, said Zaluzhny, adding that North Korea and Chinese weapons are flying into Ukraine. In other words, we have Iran involved, we have North Korea involved, we have China involved, we have America involved, we have, I believe it was Britain and France, don't quote me on that sent some other weapons over. Maybe I think more France. But anyway, is he wrong? And then he goes on to expand this, right? And he says, it is still possible to stop it here on the territory of Ukraine. But for some reason, our partners do not want to understand this. It is obvious that Ukraine already has too many enemies. Ukraine will survive with technology, but it is not clear whether it can win this battle alone. Meanwhile, we've got Joe Biden in office just turning everything to crap, right? And then I also wanted to take a look at where our warship are. Where are our ships at right now? Because this can sometimes indicate, if tensions are really rising, and obviously it absolutely is. But here's Zero Hedge. Locations of U.S. and Russia warships as World War III threats soar. And it's a great little article on there, but as of November 18th, the U.S. Naval Institute showed the approximate positions of the U.S. Navy's deployed carrier strike groups and amphibious ready groups throughout the world. And you can see some of the locations there on that map. And I guess here's worldwide, right? They've given the numbers here on the ships underway, how many have been deployed, about 103, 82, I guess, underway, and 295 total, right? But it goes on to list all the different areas. So we're in Japan, in the Pacific, Eastern Atlantic. We've got all the different wings here that they're using, the cruisers, the destroyers that are out. We're also in the Mediterranean, the Red Sea. We're all over the freaking place, as you can see on this list. And I'm not going to go through all of that, but I'll kind of show you the rest of that there. But these are all the areas that we are just ready to go, right? But meanwhile, here's the kicker on the whole thing. With Donald Trump coming in, Joe Biden knows that the Ukrainian people are not going to get as much aid. I hope he gives them no aid, because we're done. We've got American people suffering here at home and we're sending billions of dollars to another country. How about we find a way to end the war? That would be the best option, right? But either way, because Joe Biden is so adamant about sending all this over to Ukraine, our actual missile stocks are being depleted, freaking depleted. Imagine if we go to war, well, we don't have much to use anymore because we send it to freaking Ukraine. Take a look at this, zero hedge. Navy's Indo-Pacific commander warns Ukraine aid is draining our stock missiles here in the U.S. Okay, and here it is. Sam Paparo, commander of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, told the Brookings Institute audience earlier this week that earlier in the war, the U.S. was shipping less valuable weaponry to Ukraine, which didn't deeply impact readiness for big global threats like China. More advanced defense tech is currently now being shipped, and this presents a serious problem for the United States' long-term defense needs. And he goes on, and this is his quote, but now with some of the Patriots that have been employed, some of the air-to-missiles that have been employed, it's now eating into our stocks, he said. And to say otherwise would be very dishonest. And then he goes on to say that we need more. He called for the depleted weaponry to be restored and then some. And he also said that that must be an urgent priority. So this administration isn't even worried about us having the sources in the middle of an all-out World War III threat. You know what else is happening too, where we're also suffering military-wise? Take a look, Daily Color. Navy anchors 17 ships, 17 of them. Why? Because of manpower shortage. We don't have enough people, so we've got all these ships that are just going to be grounded right now. You know why we're getting depleted in our military? Because they have pushed these DEI policies, forcefully removed a lot of our military men from service because they refused to get the vaccine. Thank God some of them are now coming back. And then they're starting to push nothing that has to do with building strong men and women for our military. No, it's how woke can you be? And then they wonder why nobody is wanting to join the military anymore. I do believe that Donald Trump is going to fix that. Meanwhile, there's a lot of other crazy stuff going on regarding the war. China fired missiles, by the way, over Guam on Election Day. What kind of what message were they sending there, right? Like some kind of test or first time test. And apparently there's no threat according to our sources. But anyway, things are really getting rough out there. And I really want to encourage you guys, keep it in prayer, because this administration, I really believe, has a death wish, especially when what I shared in the beginning of this, they're literally talking about giving a nuclear weapon back to a country. What the hell? Which the only reason you want to do that is to piss off a superpower and to potentially ignite a world war. There's really no other reason. And I believe wholeheartedly that they wanted that to come out in the New York Times, because they are a lot of the times mouthpieces for the government. They have been known, whether it's a leak or not or whatever, but they wanted that information out. Anyhow, want to remind you guys, please sign up to restrictedrepublic.com. I really hope to see you over there. The information you get here on YouTube is free because they control a lot of what is going on. And at Restricted Republic, I really get down to the nitty-gritty of what's going on. And right now, in light of everything, I want to encourage you to join. It's $5 per month. Use the coupon code Lisa and the number 5, just the physical number 5. But go there. I'm going to be talking about some bombshell information today on there. I'm doing an exclusive video. You're going to want to join. So please meet me at restrictedrepublic.com and support us there and get that inside information you're not getting anywhere. Anyhow, I love you all. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.